welcome back to my channel. This is Kenny. Today we're going to be making a take on the Cheesecake Factory Jambalaya pasta. If you guys didn't already know, I like to just kind of throw ingredients together and eventually get something. So when I was looking on Pinterest trying to find a recipe, didn't really find anything that I liked, so I just remembered that all the ingredients that I have right now to make this pasta reminded me of the Cheesecake Factory's Jambalaya pasta. So we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. So let's just go over the ingredients. So as far as the vegetables are concerned, we're going to use one medium tomato diced up. We're going to use a half of a red bell pepper, a whole green bell pepper, and then we're going to use a full length of andouille sausage. Then we're going to use a pound of shrimp, and then 1 to 2 chicken breasts, depending on what size family you're trying to feed. All of this seems like a lot for me and my husband, but this will be able to be a meal for leftovers as well. So that's the reason why I'm not cutting the portion sizes down. If it's just 2 of you, just take into effect of maybe cutting down the portion sizes for the produce. So maybe a half a length of sausage, and then a half a pound of shrimp, and then possibly just 1 or a half of a chicken breast. Okay, so as far as seasonings, what we're going to be doing is making sure that we have a Cajun hint when it comes to different types of seasonings. I want to make sure that to let you know, you don't have to use this many seasons. If you have a Cajun seasoning that you like to use at home, you can do that, or you can just make one yourself. But this one here, I'm going to go ahead and go in with this Cajun seasoning. This is the Louisiana version. I got this from Walmart. Then I always like to use Southwest Chipotle. I love using this because it gives me just a little hint of spiciness when I'm not looking for bold flavor. Then this is my husband's favorite, the Tony Chachere'S. This is the spice and herbs. Tony Chachere'S has tons of different flavors, but I like to use this one if I want to have a little Creole seasoning in it as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add all of our produce into a bowl. We want to make sure that we use a big enough bowl to where we can slosh around all the seasonings. So what we're going to do is go ahead and add this into that. Like I mentioned to you guys before, I have my shrimp, I have the chicken, and then I also have the sausage. So with clean hands, you want to go ahead and add this into a medium-sized bowl, and then we're going to add our different seasonings. So as you guys can see, this bowl isn't too big and it's not too small. We're going to go in with a generous amount of seasonings. As you guys can see, that looks like a lot, but remember, you have tons of different flavors that you want to add in this. And then when you're adding pasta to your dish, your pasta tends to take your seasonings away, if that makes any sense. So we're going to go ahead and go here and we're going to mix it up. And then as you're mixing up, if you see that you need more seasonings, then I like to do that. One thing with Cajun seasonings, you can see your different seasonings all on top. And so if it still looks a little bland and without flavor, go ahead and add some more in there for you. So next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and add our vegetables. I've went ahead and chopped them up. So we're going to go in here and add all of this together. You want to add it all together, and then now that you have all your vegetables in, you want to go ahead and go in with some salt and some pepper. Because even though, one thing that most people think, that even though when you're adding like just flavored seasonings, you always want to make sure you still have a base of salt and pepper. So we're going to go here and mix this all up, and then we're going to go take it to the skillet. And then we're almost done. Okay, so in the meantime, guys, just to kind of give you a little wrap up, what we want to make sure we've done already to this point is add all of our produce and our vegetables, and then we want to make sure we've already seasoned them up pretty well. During that time, the only vegetable that you did not add is your tomato. We're going to add the tomato at the end because we don't want it to overcook. We want to still have a bite to it when we start eating our pasta. So now what I'm waiting on is for my skillet to heat. I went ahead and put about a full tablespoon of oil in my pan so my chicken mixture can sear. And then I've taken my noodles off the burner. I didn't show you guys the noodle mixture because everybody knows how to boil noodles. And then lastly, just want to mention, when you guys see the final product, I've used spaghetti noodles instead of fettuccine because that's just what I had in my home. I've mentioned to you time and time again, guys, you don't have to use you don't have to go out and buy and spend extra money on something if you don't have it. I didn't feel like leaving the house today, so I just used what I had, and that was spaghetti noodles, and it'll taste just the same. So as long as you're using some type of pasta, this should work. Then what we want to make sure we do, you're probably going to have to cook these in 2 different batches because there's so much different. There's so much meat. So I'm going to go ahead and cook this. You want to make sure it's seared, so that's why there's oil in the pan. Major thing that I will mention when you are cooking all of this, you want to make sure that you are cooking your chicken all the way through. You'll be maybe in a rush to want to get this all the way cooked, but you want to make sure that you check on your chicken because the shrimp more than likely will cook pretty fast and the sausage will be cooked fast and the vegetables will saute themselves as time goes on. But the big thing with this, you want to make sure that your chicken is cooked just so you don't have any raw pieces. Okay, so now that this is pretty much cooked, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a cup of broth. Then I'm gonna throw the tomatoes in. So I probably could have used like a bigger pan, but yeah, so we're gonna do this. And then this next step that we're gonna do is completely optional. So let me show you. Let me put the tomatoes in. I'm gonna throw these tomatoes in. And then once these saute up, I'm gonna show you guys what you can do next to zhuzh this up. Okay, so a way to zhuzh up your meal, if you want more of a creamy base, like an Alfredo sauce base, you can add in a cup, or I'm sorry, a half a cup to a cup of heavy cream. So what I'm gonna do is add this in, and then I'm gonna kind of eye it. So we're gonna go with the half a cup first. That's perfect because that's all I have. So we're gonna do a half a cup. I like having creamier bases because it's just, I don't know, that's just the type of pasta I like. But this recipe does not call for the heavy cream. So if you're lactose intolerant and if you don't really care for creamier based pastas, definitely omit this one. So next what we're gonna do is add a little Parmesan to thicken this up. And then we'll add some garlic and add the pasta, and then we'll be ready to eat. Okay guys, so you guys just saw me make Cajun Jambalaya pasta. I'm gonna make sure to leave all of my recipe tips down below, but I brought Jonathan to do the taste test. What? So let's see. You know, you guys already know every time I cook something, he has to be the final say. So let's see how it tastes. You go first. We'll just I'm not gonna even taste it because I was tasting it throughout the time that I was cooking it. You cheated? Well, I know I can cook, so. Trying to get everything. Even when it's bad, it's a 10, a top 10 on some people's. You ain't even tasted it yet. How you?
But as soon as it hit my tongue.
Oh yeah?
That's good.
Okay, so what would you give it? We're gonna create a Jonathan score.
It tastes like Cheddar's. Like the thing I get, the New Orleans pasta. That's really good.
No, I was going for Cheesecake Factory.
Cheesecake Factory has pasta? Mm-hmm. It's good, no matter where you want to say it's from.
Okay, so y'all heard it, but if you guys have any questions, please leave them down below and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.